Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Michael. We are coming at you in California. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here in California, and we're coming at you on LinkedIn, on Zoom, on YouTube, and Instagram. And we're here to answer your questions. We're here to show you some new stuff, and we have some big announcements, and we're going to do some live demonstrations. It's Strata Live. Welcome, everybody, to Strata Live. I want to get really into this right away. We have some big announcements. I'm going to start with the big announcements. We have released an alpha of Windows. We'll talk more about it, but if you're a Windows user, you've been yelling at us on Instagram and TikTok for a couple of months. We hear you. We have been listening. We love user feedback, and the Windows community is not happy that there wasn't a Strata for Windows, and I'm happy to report as of last night, we released quietly, very quietly, an alpha of Windows. If you want it, we can get it to you today. So that's really big. We also released agent to agent transfers. This is crazy technology because it's bi-directional transferring, pushing and pulling, uploading and downloading to each other's computers in a peer-to-peer network. It's very different than Dropbox or Google Drive or Signient or Aspera or Frame.io or Lucid. It's very different, very powerful, very new. We're going to go through it, but it's available today. We released it Friday quietly. Sometimes we do things quietly. We just want to see what happens. And then we get that initial feedback from early adopters. Since you're on this call, you're probably an early adopter and you're interested in this stuff. So we've got this. Then we also released invite permissions. This was something people were also constantly wanting. They need to control some permissions. We've released that. So we have new things that came out in the last day. And this is the first time we're talking about them quietly. We're talking about them quietly. Okay, so on this call, we're going to come back to those things in a few minutes. We'll go back. We'll go over it. We'll talk. You can ask questions. You can try it because you could do this along. This is like Bob Ross. Like you can paint along with me. It's totally fine. On the call, we've got my brother and co-founder, Peter. We've got Margot. We've got Shannon. And we've got our head of engineering, Austin. And we're here to answer your questions. I have an iPad off to the side here. I can see questions. So you can write questions in YouTube, in LinkedIn, in Instagram, and in Zoom. And if you fill out those questions and you come with feedback, I can read them back. So these are always better if you bring your workflow needs, your workflow concerns, your workflow questions, bring those to me. And these are actually really, really fun to do. Last week, we had 30 people on this, and it was awesome. So many questions, so many deep dives into workflow. And so I hope to have that to you today. Now, we are going to talk a little bit about housekeeping. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of these new features we mentioned, which are exciting. We're going to have a special guest, but guess what? I don't know who the special guest is. This is part of what I love to do. One of my mentors, Leon Silverman, always said, the best technology enthusiasts will do trapeze without a net, right? Trapeze without a net, if you're not familiar with that phrase, means we do tests and we could fail. And I'm okay with that. And so we're going to have a special guest, and I don't know who the special guest is. And you don't even know if you're the special guest, but one of you is the special guest. And we're going to do it together. Strata, how we're going to improve access to editing. We'll talk about future sneak peeks and some pricing, and then we'll wrap up. So it's going to be a good day. So we want that special guest. We want you to try this live with us. Everyone watching is able to try this live. I will take you through it. You will try it live. But I'm looking for someone or someones that want to try it live with me. What that means is I want to invite you to my hard drive. Where's my hard drive? I've got a pro grade drive here. I want to invite you to my hard drive, and then I want you to invite me to yours. And we're going to try for the first time live bi-directional agent to agent transfers, which is pretty cool. And so we need a volunteer. So if you want to try this live, you got to email Peter at strata.tech. He'll set you up. And then you're going to install Strata. You're going to invite me to your drive, and I'm going to invite you to my drive, and we're going to push and pull files peer-to-peer. No clouds, no transfer to clouds, no storage, none of those costs and none of those delays and none of those limitations. It's going to be peer-to-peer, and it's going to be awesome. And everyone's going to be able to see how easy that is live, because it's really powerful. So if you got courage and you want to try this live, I'm looking for you to join our live today. So let me know if you want to do that. Email Peter, he'll set you up, and we'll get going. Okay. What we want you to learn through today is to stop using Dropbox, stop using Google Drive, stop using Signiant. A lot of people tell us, we're on calls every day, they say, we're using Dropbox, we're using Google, we're using Signiant to move files around. Some people use Frame.io, which is even more expensive, or Lucid, which is even more expensive to move files. But we understand that moving files between creators and editors and collaborators all over the place is hard and it's expensive. And none of these clouds were really built for video. They aren't really optimized for video. I would say Lucid Link and Frame.io are optimized for video. They're really good video technologies. They're great at that. But they're really expensive because they're cloud storage, and that cloud storage actually lives in AWS and Amazon Web Services. So there's these high fees associated with those. But also Dropbox, they built their own clouds, but it's not great for video. Google's terrible for video. Their user interface is poor. Their upload speeds are poor. And Signiant is pretty fast, but it's expensive. And you can't see the files when you transfer them, right? They're invisible. And so we solve all those problems. These are problems that we had as creators ourselves, and we just felt we could solve this with a peer-to-peer network. That's the underlying difference with Strata. We are not a cloud. We are not storing your media. We can't see your media. We don't have your media. We don't have access to your media. We don't analyze your media. We simply facilitate a network to connect your hard drive and your computer to your collaborators' hard drives and their computers. That's what we built. The first peer-to-peer network for creative professionals. And it's a totally different way of working. It's almost like AirDrop without, you don't have to be near each other, and it works better because AirDrop barely works. So this is really cool. So what you get to do with Strata is you can connect any drive, and it doesn't matter what drive it is. Some people connect big NASs like Synology or Jellyfish. And some people connect RAIDs like OWC, or some people connect bus power drives like Glyph and the Samsung drive there. You can also see there's a camera card right here. This is a red camera card. This is a USB stick. Here's another camera card, a CFast. And this is an OWC Thunderblade. These are great RAIDs, great drives. All of these can connect to Strata. If you can mount the drive on your desktop, you can probably connect it to Strata. So think about that. Every drive you've connected to your computer can be connected to any other person. And this is really important because a lot of people think Strata is all about connecting to a RAID or a NAS and make that look and feel like the cloud. That's not a bad way to work, but it's still limiting because you don't have, what about all the other drives, right? And what about all the collaborators who have their own drives and you want to connect to each other? See, Strata is a network, and a network means you connect each other's computers to each other's drives, and you create your own network with your own collaborators. And that network can grow. I mean, look at, if I switch to Strata on my computer, look at my computer. I've got drives all over here. These are all different drives that I can connect to because my network continues to grow. And that's what's really powerful about this. Then once you connect a drive to Strata, you can share the contents. Now, some people think connecting a drive automatically means you're sharing that drive. You're not. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings with Strata. If you look in the upper right here, I have this little Strata icon. That is the Strata agent. The agent is a little application that runs on your computer. It runs on Mac, Apple, Silicon, and as of yesterday night, Windows in alpha. And we want to get that to you. And so what happens is when I launch this app, I can select drives, and those drives can be selected for transferring. And that means they can be shared, but it doesn't automatically share the drives. It just allows Strata to access the drive. Once Strata accesses the drive, you actually go into Strata and you invite people to the drive in Strata's web application. So I'm just going to repeat myself here. Connecting a drive is just what you'd use the agent to do. The agent is the application that negotiates the connection to the drive. But that's not sharing. Sharing happens in the app because you can control who you share it to. And as of Friday, I mentioned we have a new update. You can control permissions. You can start to control some permissions. So these are all brand new things. So you connect a drive, and then you can share that drive. And that is the combination of the Strata network power. And we want to invite you to be able to do that. Now, Pete, let me know if you've got someone. I need some feedback here, Pete. So on Strata, our YouTube channel, last week, we just released episode 44. And episode 44 is really exciting because episode 44 goes over how far we can push Apple Silicon technology. And we take it to the edge. We really take it to the edge here. So you should watch episode 44. There's a QR code there. You should do that. And how we break this test down is we brought 20 users, 20 people like you signed up for Strata. And then we were all over the world. So they were everywhere. These people were everywhere. And then we had simultaneous playback. So off of one computer. So I had ProRes 4K on an Apple Studio. We had 20 people independently connect to that Apple Studio and then play the files back all over the world. So it's crazy. I don't think anyone's pushed a Mac this far in this particular way. It's really remarkable. Dana Graham on Instagram says, does the connection with the agent ever time out? Well, it depends, Dana. So the connection with the agent should never time out specifically. Like that should never time out. What can time out is a transfer that fails. So Dana, if you are transferring a large file and let's say the internet goes out or someone shuts a computer down or ejects a drive, you have 24 hours to reset that, to plug the drive back in or for the internet to come back on. And then the transfer will continue. It will pick up where it left off. But if you wait more than 24 hours, we close that because we don't want all these open access points for transferring files if there's nothing happening. So the timeout is more specifically about a transfer that's failed. It will automatically shut it down. But the agent will not time out. It runs in the background. It's a background app. It's almost invisible. It's just this little icon here. And once you connect the drive, it will always remember that drive. So if you eject the drive and bring it back, you don't have to do anything. It runs in the background and it just is invisible. So the agent is just kind of running the background. So in that sense, no, there's no timeout to that. Cool. Okay. So let me look at this. So nobody volunteered. I'm surprised because usually that's not a problem. Look, we are looking, one of you's got to be there. Dana, is it you? Come on, let's do this. We want someone to volunteer to sign up for Strata at strata.tech and connect and give me your email. And then I will connect you to my drive and then you'll connect me to your drive. And we're going to actually do this live and demonstrate how easy this is. A lot of people that hear about Strata don't necessarily want to try it at first because they think it's going to be hard. I'm going to take you through that live and then you'll be on your way and you'll start sharing files and you can take a step towards canceling your Dropbox account and your Google Drive account. And you'll be moving faster and you'll be moving collaboratively. So come on, let's get a volunteer here. You don't have to be on camera. I'm not going to ask you any questions. I just want you to be able to sign up and connect to me and me connect to you. And we'll want you to share your screen of your desktop so we can see that if you're comfortable. If you're not, I'll just connect to the drive. I just need some files that you're willing to share. So let's do it. Alpia Shez, I hope I say that right. Alpia Shez says, is it possible to use Strata on an iPad 11 M3? Alpia, not really. It kind of works, but we don't support. The problem is Safari. Safari is a great, application, except it's terrible. It's a terrible application. So Apple has really fallen behind on Safari, and they're just not keeping up. And so that's why some things work in Safari and some things don't, but everything seems to work in Chrome. Google's keeping up with changes much faster. And so Chrome stays much more current, and Strata needs the latest and greatest tech in order for it to work. And we have such a small team that making it work in Safari is difficult. So Alpia, you can try it in Safari, but sometimes the player won't launch. Sometimes it will, but sometimes it won't. So it's not great. But I've got news for you. We are working on solutions for iPad, so that will come in the future. But today you have to use it on a desktop browser using Chrome. Dustin on YouTube says, any way to view when browsing drives remotely? I'm a column view guy. Other views would be helpful. Yeah, I'm with you too, Dustin. I look at everything in column view. And there is no column view yet. We don't have a view change yet. We are building this technology. We released it in April, and we're building it. It's so new that we're focusing on the core functionality. And you are welcome to keep you're welcome to keep pushing us on those things. We want to hear that. So we're listening. Dustin wants column view. I actually want list view. List view is really vital because then you can sort by certain attributes, right? And so those are things that we know we have to build. They're actually a lot harder than you think, but they're on the list, and they're things that we want to do. So you can keep asking for that. Today, you've got your thumbnail view, and you're going to have to work with that for the time being. But let us get all the features working and the functionality up to speed and all the stability things that people run into fixed. And then we can start working on beauty work like column view and list view and things like that. So we're really into that. So it sounds like Dana's driving home, and we'll log on in 5 minutes and be our volunteer. If anyone else wants to be a volunteer, then email Pete right now. Say that you'll be a volunteer, and let's get you on live, and let's share files. The further away you are from me, the better, because it's amazing when you're far away. But you do need a desktop computer. You can try this in Windows or Mac. Windows, you're going to have to ask Austin. Pete will have to give you a Discord link to download the Windows agent. But if you're on Mac, you can get it. We can give you that link too. So Austin, maybe you provide those in the chats here. Okay. So if you're going to follow along and do this, the first thing you do is you download an agent. The agent, again, is that little application that runs at the top of your bar. On Windows, it runs at the bottom, and it allows you to select which drives you want Strata to have access to. Normally, you're selecting external drives, but you can also select your system disk. For example, I can select my personal Dropbox or my company Dropbox. I could share files on my desktop, and then files on my desktop become accessible via Strata, and then I can invite people to that. Let me show you an example of that. On my desktop here, I've got a folder called Strata Shares. I'll move it out. You can see right here. There is Strata Shares. If I open up Strata Shares, I can see different people that I have shared files to. Here you can see Margot. You can see Shannon. If I want to share something with Margot or Shannon, I can take a file and I can put it in the Shannon drive. And so now I've put this file in the Shannon drive, which is a 2 gigabyte meeting that we had yesterday. You can see here is the meeting. Okay. Now, when I go to Strata, because that is shared, I can go to my Strata account. I can go to my desktop. I can see Strata Shares, and then I can see Shannon. And in Shannon, there is the file. So now the file is visible in Strata, right? I put it in this folder. Now it's visible in Chrome. That's very easy. Then I can invite Shannon to that. And now I know a folder that is on my desktop called Shannon. I can put anything in there, and Shannon can get it on her desktop, right? On her computer. And she then can log into Strata. She will see this file, and then she could choose to download it or move it to another file. By the way, this is brand new. This little copy too, you didn't have that on Friday. That just came out. We're going to show how that works in a few minutes. But this is a really powerful way to show how to connect. And I'm using a system disk here, right? I'm using my operating system local drive here. But then I can also connect external drives. External drives can go in a bunch of ways. One way is an external drive like this. This is a pro-grade 8 terabyte SSD capable of 2 gigabytes per second, bus-powered USB 4, very powerful, very high capacity, very fast, and it has a magnet on it, and I kind of magnetize it to the back of my monitor, so I always have this drive with me, and it's an extra 8 terabytes of high-performance media that I am always editing off of. That's my pro grade, and you can see that's checked right here, and if I look in Strata over here, we can see pro grade is available right there. Remember, we looked at desktop, we looked at pro grade, but check this out. I've also shared my Strata desktop. I'm sorry, my Strata Dropbox. So my Dropbox is accessible in Strata. So I've got my Dropbox, and then I also have this. This Strata is actually LucidLink. For anyone there that uses LucidLink, does anyone use LucidLink? It's a great product, does a lot of great things. My LucidLink file space is called Strata. That's the name of my file space. So I can share LucidLink. When I go to Strata, I go here. This is LucidLink. And now I am watching files off LucidLink. So LucidLink is actually available as a shared volume in Strata. And then I looked at my Dropbox, and we've got files in Dropbox here. So I'm playing this file off Dropbox. And then what was the other one? And then this one. This one's really cool. Okay, check this out. I see a question here I want to hit first real quick. No Rain on YouTube says, does Strata only work for Windows 11 or does it work with Windows 10? We built for Windows 11, No Rain. That's what we officially support. It might work with Windows 10. So you have to try that and let us know. We built it for 11. So try it on 10. Let us know if it works. We'd love to hear your feedback. It came out literally yesterday at like 5 o'clock in alpha. If you need a copy, in the chat, Austin can put a link to the Discord to get a copy, and you can try it on Windows 10. Okay, so if you remember, I was showing I've connected my Dropbox, I've connected my desktop, I've connected a ProGrade, LucidLink, and then look at this MM1 drive. What the heck is that? Well, this is something really cool. This is a Blackmagic Ursa. I know some of you can't see this. I want to show this on Instagram, and so I have to cheat here and do that. Okay, this is a Blackmagic Ursa 12K, Ursa Cine 12K. It's a great camera, but one thing that's really powerful about this camera is that it has something called an SMB mount. An SMB mount allows you to connect to the camera wirelessly. So the camera has wireless connection, and I can mount the camera locally. Check this out. I am going to go to my desktop. I'm going to hit the word network. And when I open up network here, you can see that the Ursa is an option because the camera and my computer are on the same network. So this is really pushing it. We're pushing all this tech, but we're pushing great collaboration here. Check this out. I click on Ursa, and I can see here this MM1, that's the actual drive that's in the camera. In other words, I'm mounting the drive of the camera onto the desktop of my computer without pulling the card out. And you can see here, there's a folder called proxy, which is empty. And then there's these BRAW files. I'm just going to delete those to start fresh. Okay, so we've got this proxy file, we've got MM1, and now that I've mounted that, check this out. MM1 can be checked. So I check MM1. So now MM1, the camera card, is now shareable in Strata. So if I go to Strata, hit refresh, look at this, MM1. And so now I want you to take this in. There are people out there that often say, I think I have seen Strata before. There's other products that do this. I'm going to show you. Nobody does what we're doing. Literally nobody. Check this out. I have a LucidLink account. I can view my LucidLink files inside of Chrome through Strata. And I could do this anywhere in the world. I have a Dropbox account. I'm now playing back ProRes off Dropbox on Chrome through Strata. So we've combined Lucid and Dropbox, which are competitors, and they're traditionally not combinable. Then I've got files on my desktop. Here's a 6 gigabyte file on my desktop that I can see that's 55 minutes long. And now I can access this and I can share this with anyone. So we've combined files with my desktop. I even showed you that I could share something with Shannon right here, right? Then we've got the ProGrade drive, which is a totally different file. Look at this. Here is a 150 gigabyte feature film, the film National Treasure, which is in fact a national treasure. And we've got that film, and that's on my ProGrade drive. And I've got the MM1. I've got the actual Blackmagic camera. Now watch this. I'm going to hit record on Blackmagic. I'm hitting record. This is take one. Here it is. We're hitting record on take one. Now I hit cut, and watch this. As soon as I hit cut, I hit refresh, and now I have the exact file I just shot is now visible. I'm hitting record. This is take one. Here it is. We're hitting record onto take one. I'm playing back the file that we just shot off the camera, and I have that in Strata, which means it's capable of playing back anywhere in the world. We just connected my desktop, Dropbox, Lucid Link, a hard drive, and a camera together, all in Strata. All of those can be shared with anyone, which is incredible. It can be shared with anybody. If you want to be a volunteer, I can share any of these files with you right now. And I'm not just transferring them. You can watch them. You don't even have to transfer them. You can just view them, and you can start to, the collaboration process can start because of access. So all that becomes possible. I'll shoot another take here. This will be a little weird. Let's see. Can I get myself in focus here? Maybe this is take two. Here I am, take two. Then I'll hit cut. And you can see that quickly. If I hit refresh, there is take two. And now I'm able to play that back. And so there's take two, playing back. Can I get myself in focus here? Maybe this is take two. There you go. So this is super powerful that I could deliver this to an editor, because I could grab these files. I could say download them, and now I'm able to download these files. And now I've established a peer-to-peer transfer, and I'm literally pulling the files off the camera to anywhere in the world. A hard drive, I could move those anywhere. Anyone could actually get these files, which is incredible. So you could see the power of connecting all these things together. This is all made possible through these the Strata agent. The agent connects drives to your computer, and now we get to the question of how do we invite other people? Because maybe you're thinking, well, watching Michael share files to himself makes no sense. Right. That's why I need a volunteer, so that I can actually share them with you. So we'll come back to that in a second. So we've got a volunteer here. We've got Dan Mosaku. Dan Mosaku. Awesome. Very cool. He's a content creator and social media marketing manager. That's awesome, Dan. We are excited to have you. So here's what I want to do. I am going to give Dan permission to this folder. So I have the ProGrade drive here, so we can see the ProGrade drive. I could invite Dan to the entire drive, but when you don't want someone to have access to everything, all you do is go into the folder you want them to have access to. And I'm going to go dan@mosaku@gmail.com. And I'm going to, did I do something wrong? Huh. Invalid email. Oh, dot. Sorry. My bad. Okay. So now I'm going to invite Dan. But if you'll notice, I invited Dan as a viewer. So what I should do, let me try this one more time. I can also try the new feature, which is to set him as an editor. This is brand new, that you can give people edit access versus view access. Edit access means they can actually transfer files back to you, that they have the ability to move files. And so you're giving them a deeper level of permission versus just download or just access or view. You can say, okay, now you can move files. So we can do that. So the beauty with this, Dan is based in the UK, so he's very far away, which is also really fun. And so if Dan is able to share his screen, he should be able to actually access my files. So what I'll try to do, am I still coming through, Pete? My Zoom is crashing. Hopefully.
We still see your browser screen.
Okay. I don't know what to do. I can't, maybe you can stop sharing my screen. Every time I click on Zoom,
Oh, you're gone now.
There we go. Okay. So if Dan can share his screen, that would be amazing because I want to talk Dan through a few things because it would allow him to go through my drive. And I've shared with him a bunch of assets. And he is in the UK, which is probably about 6,000 or 7,000 miles away. Here we go. Dan, thank you so much for doing this. I love putting people on the spot. You're brave, and I appreciate that. So what Dan is showing us right here, everybody, is you can see Dan has a MacBook Pro, but he has this shared with me section, and it says Mr. Cioni. That's my hard drive. And then he has test footage. So if you click on test footage, Dan, you'll see a folder called number 7, National Treasure. If you click on folder number 7, click on the file, National Treasure. One click will load it into the player. It takes about 3 seconds to load. 2, 1, and it should play back now. And now if you hit the play button, but turn down the volume, you might have to turn the volume down. Not on that. Well, that could work too, but there's a volume. There you go. Then we don't, you can hear me and you could turn the movie off. Yeah. Now, Dan, here's what I want you to do. I want you to click to the very, very end of the film where the end credits would be all the way towards the end. Yep. Further. There you go. And look at this. Write that quickly. Dan is now at the end of the film and there's no buffer. Dan, click somewhere in the middle. And if he clicks in the middle, watch how fast it reacts in the middle of that timeline. You'll click in the middle of the timeline. It'll take you right there. And now you can see wherever in the film we go, the drive reacts. Now, what's happening is Dan is not clicking through a cloud. It's a hard drive on my desk. And if you're still able to see my screen, it's blinking because it's on my desk. So I want to show you a cool trick. For those of you that can see me and Dan's screen, Dan, check this out. I'm going to rack focus here to the drive. So you play, Dan, and watch what happens to the drive. The drive starts blinking because Dan is playing the film off this drive. Now Dan hit pause. And when Dan hits pause, the drive stops. And now Dan hit play again. And now it starts playing again, right? People, Dan is 6,000 or 7,000 miles away from me, and he's playing the file off this drive. Dan, let's do another one. Go back to the test footage. Let's go back to test footage, and then let's click on Planet Earth. Folder number 8, Planet Earth. There you go. And go into one of those folders. And Dan, this basically, if you click on one of those, this is going to load a whole bunch of assets, something like 600 assets. So for people that have lots of assets, this is a really good example of how to deal with that. So Dan, I want you to click on one of the assets. And now I want you to hold the shift button and click shift click like 6 on that shark in the thumbnail still. Go into the thumbnails. I want you to multi-select more assets. So go over to the left in the thumbnails and then shift click. Yeah, there you go. And now you've selected. Okay, now hit right click, and download. And if Dan hits download, it'll say, where do you want to put these files? You could make a folder if you wanted to. Make a new folder called Strata or something. Yep, very good. Very good. Cool. And then hit select. And now you hit view files, and then it'll ask one more thing, save. And now it's establishing a peer-to-peer connection. And Dan, you are moving files from my computer directly onto yours. That's a peer-to-peer transfer. It is my drive to Dan's drive in the UK. So 6,000 miles of transferring, and that's all happening peer-to-peer. So this is really cool because he's now getting all the assets. So if you go to that folder on your desktop, Dan, you should be able to see I don't know, 9, 10, or 12 clips that you just created there. There we go. In there they are. And so now Dan's got all the files. So Dan, you and I just initiated a file peer-to-peer transfer, and we did it without having to use a cloud. More importantly, you're able to browse the files in Strata before you commit to downloading them, right? So you can look at all these files on my drive. No one has to upload anything to a cloud and pay for it to sit there and rot, and you pay that bill every single month. You get it? Like, that's different. So Dan, very, very good demonstration where we did a long file, the National Treasure. We transferred a bunch of individual clips that you manually selected a batch, which is great. And there's one more thing I want to test. Go back to Planet Earth, or I'm sorry, test footage. You were right. You were right. Go back to test footage. Go to folder number 6, interviews, and then click on synced dailies at the top. And then there's a woman in like a orange yellow shirt, and click on one of those. Yeah. And if you click on that and now you hit play, what's really cool about this is I want you to hit the F key, F as in Frank. And what you're seeing is full screen 4K. Now, I'm taking this file. Dan is getting it in the UK, and then Dan is sharing his Zoom back to us. But Dan, I'm pretty sure it looks really good too. It should look really good quality. In fact, if you want to, it should, at full screen, it should look really good quality. We're seeing it stutter a little bit, and we're seeing the quality compromised a little bit because it's resharing through Zoom. But if you can write in the chat, Dan, how's the quality look? Like, would you consider this, good enough quality for you to evaluate, watch, even edit off of someday? And it's not stuttering for you at all. See, it's not stuttering for Dan, and it's 4K. We support 4K 10-bit. And this is all playing off of a drive on my laptop to Dan on his laptop. So it's really, really, really powerful stuff. So this is an exceptional experience. It looks crystal clear. Thanks for saying that, Dan. We appreciate that. Dan is able to install an agent, access files, and now he's playing back these files. And if he needed to download this, you can hit the escape key, Dan, and that will bring you out of full screen. And so look, Dan, you've just been able to connect to me. And then since I gave you transfer, I want to try one more thing with you. Let's go back to test footage, and let's go back to HEVC clips number 4. And let's go to the very bottom clip right there. And I want you to select that take and then right click on it. And let's see if we could do copy to. Now, when we say copy to, what's powerful here is this is how you can move files from drive to drive. So here's what's going to happen, Dan. Don't move, Dan. Don't move. This is going to be interesting here. Okay, transfers. Here we go. I'm going to do dan.mosaku@gmail.com. Okay. Dan, you might have to hit escape. Watch this move. This is crazy. Hit cancel real quick, and then hit refresh, Command R, or refresh the page. What you're going to see happen is a new drive has appeared. I've just invited you to a completely different computer. So there's a whole new computer and a whole new drive. So you're going to go back to that last folder, that B2C19, you're in it, that last clip at the bottom. You're going to single click that. You're going to right click, and oh crud, I probably forgot. I have to do it one more time. I'm sorry. I have to do it one more time. I made the mistake. Dan.mosaku@gmail.com. Hang on. There we go. Refresh one more time, Dan. I needed to give you special permission for this. Okay. So Dan's going to click on that clip. Now that clip, the very last clip is on my computer. So that's my computer Dan is seeing. People, this is nuts. He's seeing that. Right click on that and now say copy to. Dan is now allowed to copy it to the M3 Studio. That's a different computer that he doesn't have. So on the left, go to M3 Studio Ultra Transfers, and yep, there's no media in there. Hit copy here. So what Dan just did is he is accessing a file on my computer I've given him permission to, and he is moving that file to another computer he has permission to, and he does not have the file, and he's not either one of those computers. Do you get it? This is something that you cannot do with other products. This is true peer-to-peer collaboration. It is a remote collaborator, Dan, and he is able to access other remote collaborators in the Strata network, and he can move files to and from each other. So Dan, if you stop sharing your screen, I'll go back to sharing mine here, and we'll see how the transfer goes. Thank you so much, Dan. So if we go here, I can look at the Mac Studio Ultra here. I can see here the Thunderblade transfers, and Dan, there it is. This is the Thunderblade. That was the file you had. You had transfers from the Studio Ultra, and now you moved this file from a drive on my computer to a completely different computer. Think about that, Dan. So you can be anywhere in the world working with your collaborators, and you can literally move assets around to people that need it, right? How many times have people been somewhere and a collaborator needs access to a file and you don't have it? You're like, I'll do it when I get home. I'll do it later. I'll have to ship you a drive, or I have to upload it first. Here, Dan had access to 2 computers and can move files between them. And then Dan was able to download files locally. So if you're using LucidLink or Dropbox or Google Drive in order to deliver files for editing, why? You're paying too much and it's too slow. Just select files off of the drives and just download them. Or Dan, if you had someone that's editing for you and you had the files, you could put the files on their computer, right? They don't have to download it. You can upload it to them. You can push the files to them. So this can go in so many different directions. Dan took a file from this ProGrade and he went to test footage. He went here. This is the file. And he moved it from the UK all the way to this folder here on a completely different machine, on a completely different drive. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I can see Dan has an awesome, his awesome icon there. There's Dan and I shared, and I can see Dan has editor access. And so he has access to be an editor. So that's why he can push files back and forth. So it's really, really incredible. So Dan, I just want to thank you for helping us do that. That was great to put you on the spot. And Dan said it wasn't stuttering. It played back smooth. It looked crystal clear. And Dan downloaded files and he transferred them. That's a perfect demo. That's trapeze without a net. I didn't know Dan before this. We did not plan this. We do it live. And by doing it live, we're able to demonstrate how easy it is. So Dan, I'm expecting you to tell your friends, learn how to build your own Strata network and start sharing that experience because Dan did a great job. Dan has said there's been so many times videos have gone up late because I needed to upload before they could review. 100%. There's no delay. I mean, Dan, I don't want to, I'm not going to have you share your screen again, but I just want you to see this, Dan. If you were connected to the ProGrade, and this is just for you, Dan, in the test footage, watch this, Dan. If I go to the desktop of my computer and I open the ProGrade and I make a file here called Dan, and I put a brand new file in that folder, Dan, if you hit refresh on your computer, you'll see that appear and you can play it back right now. Like that's how long it took. And that file is 7 gigs. And I just sent you a 7 gig file and you're able to play it back right now. That's the power of Strata. And that's what we're after. So Dan, mission accomplished. Great job. I hope other people recognize what we just did is powerful. It's profound. It's different. It's fast. It's not screen sharing. We're not like a screen sharing tool. Dan is not screen sharing my machine. He's able to have his own local experience. It's not a NAS. NASs you have to be hardline to, and you can't, even if you use a network NAS, which you could do a remote connection to, it will not play back files that are too big, right? Because if you want to play ProRes off a NAS using the open internet, it won't work. You can't do that. But Strata can. Plus, you can push and pull. So this is a completely different experience than something like Dropbox or Google Drive or Lucid or Frame.io. Frame.io, you have to wait to upload before you can watch it. In Strata, you don't. I just sent Dan a 7 gig file. He can hit play right now and it works. And the file system is controlled by my computer. And remember, I did this with a camera. We shared files off of a camera, which is even crazier. So very, very exciting way to do this. So what I want to reiterate is what just came out. So we've got 3 releases that just came out. We haven't really told anybody this. This is like brand new. So number 1, agent to agent transfers. That's what Dan and I just did. We just moved files between agents. And so when you're inviting people to an agent, they can pass files to each other, and you can have as many people as you want, as many folders, as many drives. Your agent can be installed on multiple machines. So if you have 2 or 3 computers, you can run an agent on all those machines, and you can share between them and then invite different people to them. And your whole network of people can do the same thing. That's why it's a Strata peer-to-peer network. It's so powerful. So agent to agent transfers is available, which means you can push files, not just download. You can upload to them or push. Download was available before, or pull. Now you can upload or push. The next feature is Windows. If you're a Windows user, then we released this like late last night in alpha. We want you to try it. So Windows users, please go to Discord. Pete will put the Discord invitation in the chat. You need to go to Discord, and then you need to go to the announcements. If I go to Discord here, I'll show you. Go to Discord, announcements, and right there, it says Windows Alpha. Austin, our head of engineering, he posted the Windows Alpha, and you can click download here, and then you can actually get the download. Or Austin could just paste that link in Discord or in the chats right now. But if you're on Windows, we want you to test this, and we want your feedback. It's brand new. We need your feedback to see if it's working. And this should work on NVIDIA. It works really well on NVIDIA, and it works okay on AMD. So we want to hear how those work. So let us know. Please try these and give us feedback. But Windows, you've been asking for it. We've been working really hard. David Benjamin has been working really hard on Windows. I'm really happy with his efforts. So we've got David doing that. And you can see right here, this is a Windows C drive connected. And so this is how it doesn't matter. Now, with Windows working, what it means is you can drop files from the desktop of a Mac to the desktop of a Windows computer, from a drive on a Mac to a drive on a Windows computer. You can do that across the room. You can do that across the ocean. There's really very few technologies that allow that to be possible at all. It's really amazing. Watching a file on a Windows computer that's living on a Mac without uploading to a cloud. It's incredible. And that's what we've released. So we want you to try it. And then the last thing we did is we just released invite permissions, and you saw me forget to change them every single time. So you can now invite people as a viewer or an editor. If they're a viewer, they can see the file and they can download it. But if they're an editor, they can upload it. We're also going to be adding more permissions, such as view only, no downloading, and that will be part of our paid upgrades. Speaking of paid upgrades, what we need to do is look at a little bit about pricing here. So let's go to pricing. So I want to talk about what's happening with pricing. It's changing a lot. And the reason it changes is we get feedback from you. We want to make Strata very affordable. We are working so hard to make this affordable and bring you a lot of value. And we don't, because we're not a cloud, we don't want to charge you cloud prices and cloud storage. So here's how it's going to work as of now. This is tentative. This can change, but we welcome your feedback. We want your feedback. Number one, for review only experiences, it's free. If you want a free Strata account, you sign up, it's free, and you can invite 5 people. You can connect unlimited storage. You can connect 5 petabytes of storage. It doesn't matter. And you can review that anywhere unlimited. So you can just view as much footage as you want for free, share it, review it. That will probably include comments, probably as well. We'll see. The paywall, so that's the free plan. Now, the paid plans that I'm going to show you, they're not available yet. Everything in Strata today is free. So you should use it right now because we haven't activated paying for it yet. Payment won't start for a few weeks. So Strata is free right now. But this is why this is tentative. We're looking for your feedback on the payment tiers, which we're starting to move towards releasing in August. So the basic plan at around $8 per month would allow you to have unlimited users, unlimited file uploads, and unlimited file downloads. Uploads and downloads would be push and pull. So what Dan and I just demonstrated is for $8 a month. So Dan, you got to tell us, is $8 a month worth what you just did with us? Unlimited users, unlimited storage, and then you can have unlimited push and pull. You can transfer the files. What we just did, Dan, you could do unlimited for $8. If you go to products like Massive or Signient or Dropbox, you're going to pay more than $8 to move a terabyte. And when you have a lot of camera files, you need to move lots and lots of files, hundreds and hundreds of gigs. You get charged for that. In Frame.io, it's like 700 gigs, $700 per terabyte per year, just to have extra terabytes. It's hundreds of dollars a year. In Strata, it's zero. We don't charge for storage. It's your hard drive. It's your storage. So we're just charging for the Strata network service. So you can have unlimited users, unlimited transfers for $8. And then the plus plan would be enhanced user permissions. So if you wanted to control view only and not allow people to download, that's another level up where you need professional level permissions. Eventually that'll include watermark, expiration dates, review links, and things like that. So there's lots of features coming, but this is all possible in August. And everything we demonstrated for connecting, sharing, reviewing, transferring, uploading, downloading, pushing, pulling, all that unlimited is available today. And the pricing plans are coming in August. Will there be an annual subscription? Jonas asks. Yes, an annual subscription will give you a 10% discount. So if you want a 10% discount, you can pay for the whole year. That makes the $24 unlimited Pro Plus account really valuable because it's more professional because you can control permissions even more. Plus, I'll tell you what, Jonas, anyone who signs up for Strata today and pays for an annual plan locks in their pricing. In fact, if people want bulk licenses, let's say you are a creator and you have 10 clients and you don't want your clients to have to pay for the agent, you can buy the agents for them in a bulk license, and you can put the agents on all the clients' computers so you can push and pull to and from your clients and they don't have to pay for it. Also, those licenses are transferable. So if you said, I don't have this client anymore, but I picked up a new client over here, we can move that license for you. So you can buy bulk licenses. You can pay for those upfront. And if you want to pay for a 1 year or a 2-year contract, you will have our guarantee that you will be able to lock in those rates for as long as your contract, because I'm pretty sure this price is going to go up. Strata is going to cost more in the future. And so early adopters get the benefit and the reward of signing up early and joining the Strata network early, because as prices go up, you get access to those prices. You get to keep them. So you get to save money. And the late adopters of Strata, the people that wait, they're going to pay more. And so I want to reward you for being an early customer. If you pay month to month, those rates could go up on you. But if you buy an annual subscription, you are locked in to that rate. And we will honor that as we release more features and as we increase rates over time. Stan asks, does the person I'm sending the files also need to have a Strata subscription? Yes, Dan, they need to have a subscription. That's the only way to access the drives and see them in Chrome. But hopefully you felt that it's so intuitive that it's very easy for them to do that. Now, Dan, if you remember, I sent you just a drive called Dan, and you should see a little folder called Dan. So you can make it really easy that if you have a folder called review or finals or cuts, you send that to your client, and on your desktop, you just put new files in that folder, and it just appears, right? And so it can be very easy for a client to just look at the latest one. You could separate it by dates. You could delete it on your hard drive, and then it would delete it in Strata because the Strata is watching the hard drive, right? So Strata is the hard drive. So they need an account, but they don't need to pay. Remember, if we look at the pricing, they can view the assets for free. They don't have to pay. If you want them to have a transfer experience, then they're going to need to pay, but you could buy that on their behalf. You could buy a license in bulk for them. So there's some options there that you could explore. So hopefully that gives you some flexibility, but we feel that you can eliminate Dropbox, you can eliminate Google Drive, you might be able to eliminate Aspera, Massive, Signient, or even LucidLink, and in some cases, Frame.io with where we're headed. So there's a lot of options. We intend to grow the best collaboration platform in the world. We're going after big companies. We're not afraid to say that. We are so confident that our technological difference of being peer-to-peer and not being a cloud company is such an advantage for speed and cost and quality that you're going to love this product. And we're committed to this. Our team is working every day. We work out of my house in California. They're right on the other side of the door there. And they're working right now, making transfers faster, making Windows more stable, and fixing bugs that you report. Jonas says, will there be plans to do an iPad or mobile application? Jonas, I will end the day by going to the Strata website. And if you look here, there's a button called Vision. You see the Vision button here. If I click on Vision, this is a tentative picture of our roadmap. It could change, but this is what we're going for. And if we scroll down, we can see messaging. This is going to be cool. Commenting. This is going to be cool. And then, oh, look at this. Access and review, tailored how you work, Strata Mobile. We are working on Strata Mobile as we speak, and we will give you updates as we get closer. But we want you to be able to access your NAS, your SAN, your LucidLink, your Dropbox, your hard drive, your desktop, and everything with your collaborators on your mobile device so that you can access everything on the go and nothing's in the cloud. It's so different. It's so exciting. And we are pumped to do that. Nai Sadia from YouTube says, when is Strata going to be open for paid subscriptions? Well, the pricing is coming in August. I appreciate, Nai, you wanting to pay us. We'll take your money as soon as we can. In August, you lock in your subscription, and then we will have that. But today it's free, so you don't need to worry about that today, Nai. You could just start using it. I think I recognize you from last week. Like, you should be able to just connect your team, teach your team how to do this, get your teams there. If you want one-on-one sessions with us, reach out to us. We meet with people every day, literally every day. We get you connected, we get you started, and we get we learn about your workflow and we help you out. So that's what we're here to do. So we want to encourage you to do that. So join the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, we want to see you there. That's the best way to get announcements, updates, releases, and tech support from us and the community. It's a great community, and there's discussions and so on. And we would love to have you be a part of the Strata community. So with that, this was a wonderful session. I do want to thank Dan Masaku. Dan, amazing work. Thank you so much for being willing to do that. I really, really appreciate that. We are going to be at IBC in 8 weeks in Amsterdam. Since you're in the UK, that's only like a 45-minute flight for you, and it's like 12 hours for us. I hope you can make it for at least the weekend, and then we can meet in person, take a photo. I really appreciate you taking a chance and trying this out. I hope it was a good experience for you as well. To everybody else, please sign up. Please reach out. We're here. You've got my email there, and the email of the rest of our team is always available. We love to be transparent and available to everybody. And so you're welcome to reach out anytime. With that, I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and we will see you on Discord. Bye, everyone.